Alright beauties, we've got a 60-minute yin. It is Wednesday morning, maybe the last yin live. Let's see what happens, but you're going to need today a bolster, a block, be near a wall, that's always useful, and of course your mat. Because we are doing yin and your body temperature will drop, please make sure that you have either a heater on if it's a cold day for you, or extra layers. So I find, like, as I'm practicing, I'm actually going to put my socks on now, that my body temperature drops a lot, and then by the time I hit Shavasana, I'm so cold that it's not pleasant. So just be prepared. Even if you're in a warmer climate, your body temperature is still going to drop. So you want to have some extra layers. It's a good job that we're not going for style today. Oh dear. All right, come up onto a block. Close your eyes. Give yourself a minute or two just to get any fidgets out of the way. So if you need to rearrange your clothing or just do something that's like gonna get you to be able to sit still, do that. And then just feeling into the space that you're in practicing. So this physical container. You're allowing yourself to soften into the shape that you're in. So wherever it is you are, sat, lying, doesn't really matter. It's connecting in with the quality of your breath. So again, it's just a practice of observance. Take 5 breaths in for yourself. Just letting the intention today be really simple. It's about an hour of practice for you. Open your eyes, welcoming in my lovely dripping exterior. Hopefully won't be there for the whole practice, but again it gives us a chance to work with what we can't control. Alright my love, so we're going to start in a wide knee child's pose. So I want you to bring your big toes to touch. I'm just going to do a bit of an arm variation today. So I want you to extend your right arm forward and then feed your left arm underneath. Now, you can have a block by your head, so you can rest the side of your head on a block. Or not, if you feel it's easy for you to rest your head on the floor, that's okay too. And if this is, for some of you, it might just be a bit too intense to do in child's pose. You can do it on your belly. So you've just got your right arm reaching straight ahead. And you're feeding your left arm under. And then just allowing, so not needing to go to a place that's beyond where you're at right now. But just allowing yourself to settle into a place where you can actually soften. So remember with yin, it's not about the intentional stretching. It's more of a passive opening. And so we're actually learning how to let our body relax. And as you feel into that idea, you'll notice, even in the few minutes that we're in this shape, that there's layers of relaxing. And so you'll notice that there's a bumping up against these different edges of tension. There's this sense of feeling into how you can soften into those edges. So not such a long hold in this one, just maybe a minute or so. And just noticing where else there's a tension that's apparent in your body. So maybe your jaw might be a good place to start. Maybe the skin around your cheeks, your eyes. Okay, and so very, very slowly, starting to unravel. So you might come down either onto your belly or your back. Just give yourself an opportunity to uptake in the change. in and easing on back out. And coming to the other side. So again, you can do this on your belly, or you can be in a child's pose. So you don't have to do the same as you did on the other side. And then this time taking your left arm forward and feeding your right arm underneath. So you have a few options. You can pop a block underneath your head, or a pillow, or whatever it is you're working with from home. And then just feeling in for, it's like that comfortable edge that we talk about. So you don't want to be in so deep that it's not possible to relax. That's kind of the opposite to what we want to achieve. But the other side to that is not being so comfortable that you can just fall asleep, because then that's pointless too. This practice is about learning how to work with our own edge of what is manageable and what is too much, what is not enough. And then once we find that edge, it's about remaining still and just allowing for the natural unwind of our body. It's like our body knows way more than we do anyway. This sense of letting that wisdom take shape. So again, we're coming into that final sort of minute or so. It just gives us an opportunity to feel for where else we can start to soften in. And it might just be that it's like 1% more softness. It's a little bit like peeling back the layers of an onion, like one by one. Alright, beauties. So start to feel for moving out. It's always pretty gradual, so no need to rush. I'm just going to invite you to come either onto your belly or your back. And just let the energy of those last sides, like both sides, ripple back through your body. And honestly, all we're doing here is we're just noticing like what's changed. How is our physical body? Is there an emotional charge? What's happening in our mind? And then transitioning, my loves, to a seat. So you come onto one side, slowly, slowly. So you have the option of Sphinx or seal, and it's really up to you, or you can do a bit of both. So I'll let you know when we're halfway. And just like anything, if you know these poses, just go into them. Don't wait for me to do the spiel. So let's say that the most modified version of Sphinx today would be to rest your chin in your hands. Legs can be wide apart or close together or somewhere in between. And then the next phase would be something like, I like palms pressed together here with elbows and shoulders. And you might want to put your forearms down, have your head on a block maybe. And then the deeper version, if you're feeling a bit more open today, is seal. So again, many options. You can have your hands quite a bit further forward, which I like to start with. It gets more into my upper back. Or you can have them right up by your hips. Like, it just depends. You can also turn your hands the other way if you want to get into your arm lines. It's a bit of everything there. So we are going to be in this one a little bit longer. So you might want to come in stages. That's always a good thing to practice, I guess. Just getting a sense of how your body responds to, you know, the first version and then the second and so on. Or you might already know that you're able to go into a specific version. And then once you're in, it's that sense of resting more into the weight of your bones than anything else. So if you're feeling for, it's like relaxing your skin. And then going a little deeper and relaxing your blood. Eventually coming into that space where you feel your bones start to rest. So just kind of moving towards the halfway mark. You know, welcome to stay wherever you are, that's fine. You're starting to feel like this has become really comfortable. I would suggest moving into a space where you're getting back to that manageable edge. So that might mean coming up a little bit deeper into seal, or even just changing the position of your legs. But just not falling into that trap of getting into a comfortable place and just lying there. You know, we're still working, even though we're not moving. Right, beautiful. Come in again now to those last few breaths, about a minute or so. This last minute is where we go to the tensions that are less familiar. So for whatever reason that you may want to move or come out of the pose early, stay regardless. All right, beauties. So again, that transition out is just as important. So come out really slow. To get you to come onto your belly or your back. And even if there's a level of discomfort in your lower back, just feel for allowing that to be as it is, just for the moment. So you're welcome to stay here for another few breaths, or if you need child's pose, push back and just feel for that little bit of release through your lower back. So you come into a narrow or wide knee, doesn't really matter. And then slowly coming on up. So, two options, caterpillar or snail. I'll demonstrate both as always, but again, if you know them, then just, head straight in. So caterpillar might be nice with a bolster under your knees. That just helps if you're someone that feels quite restricted in the forward fold. It'll just take it out of your hamstrings and help you get a little bit deeper in. Some of you might not need a bolster, in which case caterpillar will look something like this. And again, it might be that you go in stages. So you're not just going to go the whole hog in like 3 seconds. And then snail is basically the same pose, except the other way around. So your legs are over your head. You can have them resting on a bolster. You're not actively reaching your butt up like you would in a yang practice. You just want to feel more of a curvature through your spine. Maybe even some padding under your necks. It can, I feel for me, it can sometimes get a bit tender on the, the neck bone. So again, we're going to be in this one a little bit longer. I would suggest coming to one that you can stay in and stay still. So I often see a lot of people in class doing like a bit of a vinyasa between snail and caterpillar. Just choose one and then commit to that. It's like the story of my life, choosing one thing and committing. But it's like that whole idea of committing to one thing and then going deep in that one thing. So commit to the pause and then commit to staying. The sense of being willing to go to those deeper places of tension in our body. Which is often where the freedom is. And we feel that major release of stuckness. beauties. About a minute or so. Just kind of allowing for that deeper layer of let go. All that really means is just softening into what is here. There's nothing to really do. Alright, beauties. So taking your time, just very, very gradually, and support yourself however you need. I'm going to get you to come all the way down. You can either be on your belly or your back. Just let yourself uptake whatever it is that's moving. Okay, my loves, making the transition to one side. Just coming up to sitting. So we're moving into supported fish, and again, there's a few different ways to do this. So if you're working with a block, you've got a couple of different options. So you can have the block running horizontally from shoulder blade to shoulder blade, or you can run it along your spine vertically. So they will get into very different areas of the upper part of your body, just again, depending on where you want to feel the release. And then the other option is a bolster, but I would only use that horizontally. So you're running the bolster from shoulder blade to shoulder blade. And so, coming down over whichever prop you've chosen. My suggestion would be to let your head hang back as much as you can in a way that feels kind of safe and manageable for you. So you want to get the throat line open as well as the upper part of the chest. The other thing you can do is, if it doesn't feel great for your neck, you can pop a blanket or something else underneath your head. And then some people like to work with the soles of their feet together. So more of a Baddha Konasana position through the legs. That feels terrible for me. So I just keep my legs straight, but it's a personal choice. And then you can have arms out to shoulder height. So you start to get more of an opening through the arm lines. So we've got the heart and the lung meridians. Or you can take your arms over your head. So again, a little bit of a longer hold. Just enough to feel for the change. And then the practice now is just of observing what is coming without really attaching to a story or really reacting to a sensation. It's just this process of, it's witnessing really where our body's at, how things are moving, where things are not. And then most importantly, can we stay with whatever is showing up? That's the practice. Beauties, you have a minute left. Know that at any time it's okay to come to a less intense version. And there's always the option to go deeper. You guys know that. Just in this last minute, can you feel for this internal softening? All right, beauties. Starting to ease out. Slow, slow. Starting to come down either belly, back. You can keep your knees bent if that helps for a moment or so. And just let the rebound of that pose move through your body. Just notice what you're feeling. And then staying down on your back. So we set up for a pretty simple spinal twist. If there's another twist that you like to take, then of course that's an option. So you do what you need to do. Otherwise, bend your knees so your feet are flat and just off center your pelvis to your right. And then take your knees over to your left. So you've got your right knee on top of your left. Ankles are stacked. I would suggest just bringing your knees right close up to your chest. So you get space through your lower back. And then your right arm can go maybe out to shoulder height, or it might run up by your right ear. You can have it anywhere that works for you. For me, I like to get a little bit of a pec opener. So kind of play around with the angles on any given day. This is your last pause before we move into Shavasana. So even starting to prepare for that space. So you start to let go of any, thoughts that don't need to be here, or physical tensions. And just come to that place of resting in your bones again. beauties. So you know that you can stay longer if you need. Otherwise, bringing your body back through center. Just maybe resting in the midline with your knees bent and your feet flat. Just give your spine a moment to kind of integrate that. And then the transition to the second side. So again, knees are stacked. Pelvis shifts to the left. Knees over to your right. Left arm wherever it needs to go. Those last few breaths to feel for a next layer of relaxed into whatever is here in your body. And then start to make your way back. So going back through center. You can bring your knees bent so that your feet are flat. And then the only pose remaining from this point is final rest. So you might just take traditional Shavasana, just laying on your back. Maybe legs up the wall is a good option for you. Just moving into that space where you're able to integrate the change, like allowing your body to recalibrate. So if you need longer, stay. Otherwise, invite your breath in. Taking the transition to one side, so slowly, easy. And just come on up to sitting as you bring your hands to rest, easy at your heart. So it's that kind of connection now of how we take that practice and move with that energy through the rest of our day. So even if it's just a tiny little bit of that, as we start to go about whatever it is we're doing next. And take a full feeling breath in and a long breath out. And acknowledging each other. Thank you. Have a beautiful day, my loves.